Hey there, John here. I'm here in the garden and it's springtime and I'm looking at these dandelions here and just thinking about all the vitamins and minerals that these leaves have and different parts of this plant. A lot of the herbs that grow around us are real common plants, have a lot of really high in vitamin and mineral content. You're thinking like burdock and chickweed as well as the dandelion and stinging nettles. And of course we can eat these raw in some dishes. We can even cook them up and that's a way of getting those nutrients. But a way to that we can get really optimum nourishment from these plants all year round is to drink a nourishing herbal infusion, which I'm doing right now. And not only is it really a cornerstone of our healthcare routine in our home, but it's also really foundational part of our herbal education and how we learn about the herbs. So what I'd like to do now is go on up into the kitchen and show you how I make one. And also you can download Rosalie De La Forêt's report below on how to make these, as well as a lot of different herbs you can use and the constituents, properties, and whatnot, as well as some frequently asked questions. So you can download that and take a look, but also take a look at the video here because I'm going to show you how we make the infusions in our kitchen. Alright, so let's go up. Alright, now we're going to make an infusion. So what we have here is just a standard mason jar, okay, quart size, right there. Alright, and I have measured out 1 ounce of nettle herb. Once again, see Rosalie's report for all the details and questions and stuff like that. I'm just going to show you here because I'm going to give you an idea on how much an ounce is. An ounce of root will look like a lot less, but an ounce of leaf, especially fluffy leaf, will look like a lot more. So I'm gonna put that in here. Now, as you get to do this, you get an idea on how much an ounce is, and I've heard people even say that with nettle you can do a little less, maybe half an ounce to an ounce, but anyway, that's a standard. People usually talk about an ounce. And put this aside. So this is your ounce in here, okay? But you eventually figure out like how much that is and how many handfuls for yourself and all, and you don't have to weigh it out every time in a scale like I did the first time. I just keep our nettle here in this little jar in our kitchen. Okay, this is cut and sifted that I purchased, but I also, I just for demonstration purposes, but right now since there's nettles out there and we're picking them and drying them, you can see whole leaves in there that we pick ourselves, that we have up there too. Okay. So I got that in there, and then what I do is I take water that I've heated up, and I just have this little knife I stick in here. It helps absorb the heat, but you don't have to do that. I have just something that my wife came up with from remembering something from her grandmother. Kind of absorbs the heat. I've cracked a couple of jars, and since I've been doing this, I've never cracked a jar. But you don't have to. Stir it in a bit. Okay. Stirring that in there good. Okay, and top it, a little more water in there. Alright. Now, I put a cap on it. Okay, this is the first cap I grabbed. This is plastic ones we use actually. You got for vinegar once, but you can use the metal ones that came with your mason jars too. Alright, so, and that is going to sit for a minimum of 4 hours. Or overnight. Sometimes I'll do it overnight and strain it and take it with me in the morning, which is what most people seem to do. And sometimes if I don't do that, I make it in the morning and just drink it with dinner. Depends on what herb I'm using too, I guess, if I have it a little later. But yeah, nettle. I do either. Just as long as it's sitting for at least 4 hours. But they're not going to last more than 24 to 48 hours. Out. You want to treat this like you would treat blood or something, meaning that, you want to refrigerate it once you strain it and put it, when you're finished, when you've strained it later. But when you're brewing it, just leave it out. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside. These, by the way, are some other infusions that we've got going on. We have Kimberly has some oat straw going here. And there's a little brew for Haley happening here too. So we got all our infusions going. Alright, so this is an infusion that I've made already, and it's been brewing for 4 hours. It's just like a cooking show, you see, we have it all prepared. Then I take my strainer, put it on the mason jar, and I'm going to simply strain it into there. Some folks will actually tell you the truth, sometimes it's a lot better to use a bigger strainer over a bowl than pour it back in, because then you can squeeze all of the stuff, all of the mark into it. See, you're getting lots of other stuff in there. You can do that this way too, just whichever works for you. Okay, let me get that in there, put that aside, and I see that, get the last good drops out of it. But sometimes it helps to have a visual representation. Okay, put this aside, and I'm going to take that I just had, and you can mulch a plant with it. You can put it on a house plant. You can put it in the compost, something where you're going to reuse it. Don't just stick it in the trash, because it's more respectful that way for our plants that we're using. Alright, so then we have our finished infusion, and like I said, just drink this throughout the day. Or you can have half one day and half another day, but hey, you might want to put, if you're storing it, like I said, put it in the refrigerator. I was getting ahead of myself before. See, now you can look at, so I can't move the camera up because, like I said, it's just me here. I don't have one of those like remote control. Remote control tripods. To work on that. Alright, so let's see. And then that's your finished infusion that you can take with you and drink throughout the day. It's really great for you. You can read all about that in the report. Now you'll see in Rosalie's demonstration that she uses one of these French press thingies that you can get at thrift stores, or at least you can at ours, maybe because we live in the coffee capital of the world here in Seattle, or I think it is. Or, you know, Starbucks or wherever. But you can kick up one of these presses. Some folks like this, like Rosalie does, because she doesn't have to deal with the strainer, right? And then she takes it and then just presses this all the way down. And this is what you see in the demonstration. And then she just pours that right in your cup. But, you know, it's a little harder to squeeze out the goods. You might want to do a combination. You can do this and take the rest of it and squeeze it through a strainer if you want. Either way. Alright, so that is how to make your nourishing herbal infusion. So what about these herbal pills? There's some stinging nettle. I'll show you that up close. I got this at the store. I have to do this instead of zoom in because I don't have anyone working the camera. So this, a quart of nettle infusion here, it contains 2,500 milligrams of calcium. So what's in this pill? You know, what's it say here? Actually, 2 pills, 24 milligrams. But, so anyway, so we could take this pill, or we could use all the herbs that went in. This is how much, remember, that went into making the infusion, and this little pill is, so you're going to do that, and plus all that it took to make the gel cap and the plastic and this to ship this and everything and all the other stuff that goes into this. And anyway, the nettle, the constituents are extracted in water and not through the pill. Okay, so basically, yeah, so you can make the choice there, and basically, nourishing herbal infusions are a superfood. Remember, Rosalie made this report. Download that, and you'll just want to stick to the herbs that she discusses for now until you learn a bit more. And it'll give you a ton of great information, as well as answer a lot of frequently asked questions. And if you don't have Healing Wise by Susan Weed, wonderful book with lots of nourishing herbs and more constituents and science and lots of fun things in here and help you learn and help you to remember and other recipes. So thanks, and hope you start making nourishing herbal infusions part of your daily healthcare routine. And that's good.